Hey everyone, I want to share some simple ways that you can be productive right now, even if you feel stuck. So, if you've got a to do list and you find yourself scrolling, reorganizing random drawers, rearranging the house, or just staring into space, I want to share some tips on how to do some small things to get unstuck. So, I'm going to share some simple, easy tricks to help you feel productive right away. And I'll also explain why they work and how they can shift your mindset. So, just small steps that will actually make a difference. I have six tips for you today. And the first one is going to be the 5 minute rule. So, the 5 minute rule is a way to trick your brain into starting. So, the hardest part of doing any single task, no matter what kind of task it is starting. But once you are in motion, it's a whole lot easier to keep going. So that's why the 5 minute rule is just so powerful. You tell yourself, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes. That's it. No pressure to finish, just to get you started. So this works because our brains hate leaving things unfinished. So once you start a task, your brain nudges you to keep going because it wants closure. So some examples of a 5 minute task would be if your inbox is really full and you want to, clean out your inbox, you're not going to do the whole thing. You can just tell yourself, I'm going to spend 5 minutes today deleting all of the junk mail. Another example is if your house is feeling overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, just pick a corner and tidy up that corner of the living room for 5 minutes. Once you start doing that, you're going to end up doing more and wanting to clean because, again, the hardest part is starting. If you are avoiding a work task because you don't want to do it or it's just a big project and it's overwhelming, tell yourself that you are just going to turn on the computer or open the document and start. Even if you do stop after 5 minutes, it's still a win because you made progress. Okay, the second tip I have is to brain dump and pick one thing. So when you feel overwhelmed, it's usually because you're trying to juggle way too much in your head. So this is where a brain dump helps. I want you to write down every little thing that's swirling around in your brain: grocery list, work task, calling the dentist, making an appointment, the school project or Valentine's Day cards, whatever it is. I want you to write every single thing on that list. And once it's all out on paper, it's just going to be so much easier for you to see what's really important. And then I want you to just pick just one thing to start with. This works because our brains can only process so much at once. When you brain dump, you're offloading that mental clutter and giving your brain room to focus. You can see your whole list and you can ask yourself, what's most urgent? What's bothering me the most? What'll make me feel accomplished today? So now you've got a clear action plan instead of decision overload. Okay, the next tip I have is to tidy up your space, but keep it simple. Sometimes it's not you, it's your space. So whenever my desk is a mess, I feel stuck, but you don't need to deep clean. Just do a little pickup, a little quick tidy. I like to do a lazy clean. Instead of actually organizing all my papers, I'll just stack them all instead of sorting them, or I'll just throw all of the random clutter into a basket and put it in the corner and deal with it later. So this works because visual clutter creates mental clutter. So your brain processes all that stuff that's in your space as unfinished business. This makes it harder to focus. So clearing even a small area of your office space or your workspace can help your mind feel clearer too. Okay, the fourth thing is to do one thing to help future you. So what I mean by this is, how can you do something small to set future you up for success? So even something tiny can make tomorrow so much easier. Some examples of this is laying out your clothes for tomorrow, whether it's your gym clothes or your work from home clothes, whatever it is, just set it out so that you are ready to go in the morning. Another example is pre-filling your planner with a couple of specific tasks for the next day. So I love planning the night before because it just helps me to prepare mentally for the next day. Another thing is setting up your coffee maker or prepping breakfast if your mornings are usually chaotic. So this works because it helps you reduce decision fatigue. So your brain only has so much decision-making power each day. So the fewer choices you have to make tomorrow, the easier it'll be to hit the ground running. Okay, tip number 5 is to use music or a timer to build momentum. So sometimes all you need is a little momentum to get going. So my 2 favorite ways to jumpstart that are using the Pomodoro method and music. With the Pomodoro method, you set a timer for 25 minutes and you work on one task and then you take a 5-minute break. It's great for tricking your brain into starting, but if that's not your thing, you can try a get stuff done playlist. Any music that makes you feel good and gets you moving. This works because rhythm and structure helps your brain shift into focus mode. Okay, and finally, tip number 6 is to move. Move your body, get up and do something. Most of the time when we're stuck, we are just like researching, staying on our phones, laying down or something. But I want you to challenge yourself and just get up and move. You don't need to do a full workout. Literally just stand up, stretch, walk to the kitchen and back, because movement is going to boost your energy and help clear that stuck feeling. So sometimes I'll even put on some music and dance for a minute. Yeah, it feels silly, but you're home alone and it works. So moving your body shifts your mental state and gives you a reset. So yeah, if you were feeling stuck when you started this video, I hope that you found something out of these 6 tips that feels doable. Remember, productivity is not about doing everything, it's just about doing something. Even the tiniest action can build momentum. So if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more practical tips. And tell me in the comments what's one thing you're going to do right now to be productive. I would love to hear what you have to say. See you guys in my next video.